Ladies and gentlemen, let me tell you something right now. If you want your life to change, if you want the next chapter to look different from the last one, then there are 10 things you've got to start working on immediately. Not next week, not when things get easier, not when life calms down, right now. Because life doesn't wait on you. Success doesn't pause for your convenience. Elevation doesn't hold your spot while you make excuses. You've got to move, and you've got to move with urgency. The first thing you've got to fix is your mindset. Your mind is the steering wheel of your life. If your mind is pointing toward doubt, fear, and limitation, then don't expect your life to drive towards success. You can't outrun a negative mindset. You've got to reprogram how you talk to yourself, how you handle setbacks, how you see possibilities. Change your mind and your life will follow. Your mindset is the source of every win you will ever experience and every loss you will ever take. People look at success as something that starts outside. Opportunities, connections, luck, resources. But the truth is, none of that matters if your mind isn't positioned to receive it. Your mindset is the first battlefield. Everything begins there long, long before it becomes something you can touch. You can have talent, but if your mind is filled with doubt, that talent stays locked away. You can have dreams, but if your mind is programmed with fear, those dreams never leave the ground. The thoughts you entertain every day are shaping your future, even when you don't realize it. When you walk around telling yourself you're not ready, not smart enough, not worthy enough, life doesn't even bother sending opportunities your way because you already rejected them in your mind. Most people lose the war before they even step on the battlefield because their mindset has convinced them that their circumstances decide their destiny. But circumstances don't make you, your mind does. If your mind can't see possibility, it will convince you to stay comfortable, stay quiet, stay small. A negative mindset doesn't just hold you back, it slowly becomes your identity. You start believing that the life you're living is the best you can get. You start believing that your struggles define you. You start believing that every setback is a sign you should quit. That's the dangerous thing about the mind. If you don't take control of it, it will take control of you, and it won't lead you anywhere good. Your mind is powerful, but it is also programmable. What you feed it daily becomes its operating system. If you constantly feed yourself comparison, you'll always feel behind. If you feed yourself fear, you'll always feel stuck. If you feed yourself negativity, you will attract negative outcomes. But if you start feeding your mind strength, belief, optimism, discipline, you will discover a version of yourself you didn't know was possible. Changing your mindset doesn't mean pretending life is perfect. It means training your mind to focus on solutions instead of problems, on growth instead of limitations, on progress instead of excuses. It means refusing to stay the same when you know you were meant for more. A strong mindset is built in moments when everything in you wants to give up. It's built when the world tells you no, but you tell yourself, try again. It's built when failure hits you so hard you question everything, but you still get back up. A mind gets stronger the same way a muscle does, through resistance. Every challenge you go through is not just an obstacle, it's a mental gym. Every time life tests you, you're given the chance to develop mental endurance, mental clarity, mental strength. I'm not talking about being these moments by complaining about how hard things are instead of realizing they're being prepared for the next level. Your mindset is also shaped by what you allow around you. If you stay around people who think small, talk small, and dream small, it's only a matter of time before your mind starts shrinking too. The company you keep doesn't just influence your behavior, it influences your belief system. If all you hear is negativity, eventually it becomes your own voice. That's why you have to protect your mental space with everything you have. Be careful who you allow to speak into your life, because not everybody should have that privilege. Some people will plant seeds of doubt in your mind without even realizing it. Some people will make you feel like your dreams are unrealistic because they can't imagine achieving anything beyond their own comfort zone. You need to surround yourself with people who spark belief, not fear. People who talk about ideas, not problems. People who push you higher, not pull you down. A powerful mindset also requires you to let go of your past. Too many people remain prisoners to experiences that ended years ago. They replay failures, heartbreaks, disappointments, betrayals, mistakes, until their mind becomes a museum of setbacks. You cannot build a great future on a foundation of old pain. Your mind needs space for new possibilities, but it can't receive them if it's full of yesterday's burdens. You'll have to release what broke you so you can make room for what can build you. You have to stop letting old versions of yourself control new chapters of your life. At the end of the day, your mindset is the greatest tool you possess. It can either guide you toward greatness or chain you to mediocrity. It can either lift you or limit you. Every successful person you admire didn't begin with all the answers. They began with belief. Belief that they could grow, belief that they could learn, belief that they could rise. That belief didn't come from the world around them. It came from within. And until you choose to believe in yourself the same way, your external world will never match the greatness inside you. Discipline is the silent force that separates those who dream from those who achieve. Most people want success, but very few are willing to build the discipline required to reach it. Anybody can be motivated for a day, a week, maybe even a month. Motivation is easy because it feels good. But discipline is what you do when the feeling is gone, when nobody is watching, when the rewards haven't shown up yet. Discipline is the willingness to do what must be done even when everything in you wants to stop. It is the ongoing choice to honor your goals more than your excuses. It is the habit of keeping promises to yourself even when life becomes uncomfortable. And that level of consistency is what builds character, strength, and unstoppable momentum. The truth is, your life right now is the sum of your disciplined actions and your undisciplined moments. Every shortcut you chose, every day you procrastinated, every promise you bore yourself, every time you listened to the voice that said, "Not today," has shaped the situation you're in. Discipline doesn't punish you. It protects you. It protects your time, your energy, your potential, your future. When you build discipline, you build a foundation that nothing, not failure, not fear, not obstacles can easily shake. You become someone who doesn't need external pressure or constant motivation because you've trained your mind to show up regardless of circumstances. Discipline is not a trait you're born with. It's a skill you develop. You develop it by doing small things consistently. Waking up when the alarm rings instead of snoozing it. Showing up for your goals even when you're tired. Saying no to distractions even when they look tempting. Sacrificing short-term comfort for long-term growth. These small decisions might not look important, but they build the architecture of your entire life. The more disciplined choices you make, the easier it becomes to make the next one. You begin to trust yourself. And self-trust is one of the most powerful forms of confidence. One of the biggest reasons people lack discipline is because they rely too much on how they feel in the moment. But your feelings are unreliable. Your feelings will tell you to quit when things get hard. Your feelings will tell you to rest when you haven't earned rest. Your feelings will convince you that tomorrow is a better day to start, even though tomorrow never comes. Discipline is doing it anyway. Doing it tired. Doing it unsure. Doing it frustrated. Doing it while you're still learning. Doing it even when the results are invisible. The longer you practice discipline, the less control your emotions have over your decisions. Another powerful truth about discipline is that It simplifies your life. When you are disciplined, you eliminate confusion. You eliminate overthinking. You eliminate constant decision fatigue. You don't waste hours trying to decide what to do because you already know what needs to be done. Your mind becomes sharper, your days become structured, and your purpose becomes clearer. Discipline creates order, and order creates progress. Without discipline, everything feels chaotic, rushed, unplanned, and unstable. With discipline, even the biggest goals become manageable because they are broken down into consistent, repeatable steps. Discipline also demands honesty with yourself. You can't build a disciplined life while lying to yourself about your habits, your weaknesses, your distractions, or your excuses. You have to face the truth. Maybe you haven't been giving your best. Maybe you've been avoiding the hard work. Maybe you let fear or comfort take control. Once you accept that truth, discipline becomes easier because you stop fighting reality and start taking responsibility. Responsibility is the fuel of discipline. When you realize that nobody is coming to save you and nobody is going to drag you toward your goals, you finally understand that discipline is not a punishment. It's freedom. Freedom from regret, from chaos, from wasted potential. The discipline you build today will bless you years from now. Every hour you invest, every distraction you avoid, every sacrifice you make becomes a seed planted for your future self. While others are complaining, you're building. While others are sleeping on their dreams, you're working on yours. And eventually, the results will show. Discipline will give you opportunities that talent alone cannot. Talent might open the door, but discipline walks you through it and keeps you inside. Discipline turns ordinary people into extraordinary achievers because it builds resilience. You stop running from challenges and start growing through them. At the end of the day, discipline is the most powerful form of self-respect. It means you consider your goals important enough to work for them every single day. It means you value the future version of yourself enough to sacrifice for them today. And once discipline becomes part of who you are, you won't even recognize the person you used to be. The one who made excuses, the one who quit early, the one who doubted their own potential. Because discipline transforms you from the inside out. It is the gateway to every success you will ever achieve. Your habits are the quiet architects of your future, shaping your life in small, almost invisible ways every single day. People often focus on big dreams, big goals, big achievements, but what truly determines where you end up are the small actions you repeat without thinking. Your habits either build your future or slowly destroy it. They either move you forward or quietly keep you stuck in the same place year after year. Every successful person you admire didn't get there because of one big moment. They got there because of daily habits that were consistent, intentional, and aligned with the life they wanted to create. Most people underestimate how powerful habits are because they don't see immediate results. You skip the gym today, nothing changes. You scroll your phone for 2 hours instead of working on your goals, and life looks the same tomorrow. But habits compound. The small things you do daily eventually become the big things that define your life. That is the invisible danger of bad habits. They don't ruin you instantly. They ruin you slowly, quietly, and consistently. And the opposite is true for good habits. They don't transform you overnight, but one day you wake up and realize you're stronger, smarter, more disciplined, more confident, and closer to the life you always wanted. Your habits reveal what you truly value, not what you say you value. If you say success is important, but your habits show laziness, procrastination, or indiscipline, then your words don't matter. The world doesn't reward what you say, it rewards what you repeatedly do. If your habits don't match your goals, then your goals are just wishes. That's why it's so important to become brutally honest with yourself about the habits you've normalized. Your morning routine, your evening routine, The way you react to challenges, the way you spend your free time, the people you listen to, the food you eat, the effort you put in when no one is watching. These things tell the truth about your future. Changing your habits begins with awareness. You can't fix what you refuse to acknowledge. Too many people live on autopilot, repeating the same routines without ever questioning whether those routines are helping or hurting them. Your habits should be tools, not traps. A habit should serve your growth, not steal your potential. The moment you take a hard look at your daily patterns, you start to regain control over your life. You realize that many of the things holding you back aren't giant obstacles. They're tiny routines that you've carried for years. The beauty of habits is that once established, they require less willpower. At first, building a new habit feels heavy. It feels uncomfortable. It feels inconvenient. Your brain resists change because it prefers familiarity over progress. But when you push through the initial discomfort, the habit begins to integrate itself into your identity. You stop forcing yourself to do the right thing because it becomes natural. And once a good habit becomes part of who you are, nothing can take that away from you. That's how transformation happens, not through sudden inspiration, but through repeated action. Bad habits thrive in environments where there is no structure. Chaos feeds procrastination, distraction, and inconsistency. If you don't intentionally build your habits, your environment will build them for you. And your environment rarely chooses success. That's why you need to design your days instead of drifting through them. Create routines that force you to grow. Set up systems that make good habits easier and bad habits harder. If your phone distracts you, put it in another room. If you want to read more, keep a book on your bedside table. If you want to save money, automate your savings. Make your habits work for you, not against you. Your circle also influences your habits more than you realize. If you surround yourself with people who wake up late, complain all day, avoid challenges, and waste time, those patterns will begin to feel normal. But when you surround yourself with people who work hard, take responsibility, and push themselves daily, your standards automatically rise. You begin to expect more from yourself because the people around you reflect what is possible. Most importantly, habits shape your identity. Every time you follow through on a positive action, you cast a vote for the person you want to become. Every time you break a bad habit, you break a piece of the old version of yourself. And identity is powerful because once you see yourself as someone who is disciplined, focused, healthy, and committed, your actions begin to align naturally with that identity. The truth is, you don't need to change your entire life at once. You just need to change the habits that shape your life. Small actions repeated daily create massive results over time. If you want a different future, you must build different habits. Because the habits you practice today are writing the story you will live tomorrow. Your circle is one of the most important forces shaping your future. Yet most people don't realize how deeply it affects their mindset, their habits, their ambition, and even their belief in what's possible. You can have all the talent in the world, all the dreams, all the potential, but if you surround yourself with people who think small, talk small, and live small, you will slowly shrink to match their level. Your environment influences you more than your intentions do. You might want greatness for yourself, but if your circle is filled with negativity, doubt, laziness, jealousy, or fear, eventually those qualities will rub off on you without you even noticing it. It happens quietly, slowly, and subtly. You start lowering your standards, you stop pushing yourself, you begin to settle, and you adopt the mindset of the people around you. People don't just keep your company, they shape your character. If you spend time with complainers, you'll start complaining. If you hang around people who avoid responsibility, you'll find yourself making excuses. If you stay close to people who always doubt themselves, Soon you'll doubt your own abilities. That's how powerful your circle is. Humans naturally adapt to their environment. So if your environment is weak, your growth will be weak too. And this is exactly why so many people never reach their potential. They are surrounded by individuals who don't challenge them, don't inspire them, don't push them, and don't believe in anything beyond what they already have. You need people in your life who add value, not drain it. People who speak life into you, not death into your dreams. People who encourage you to take risks, not convince you to play small. People who challenge your excuses, not agree with them. The right circle doesn't let you stay the same. The right circle holds you accountable. The right circle makes you uncomfortable in all the right ways, forcing you to grow. You should have people around you who talk about goals, opportunities, investments, growth, positivity, and purpose, not gossiping and other people's failures. Your circle should elevate your thinking, not poison it. One of the hardest truths you'll ever face is that some people can't go with you to your next level. They were part of your past, not meant for your future. It doesn't mean they're bad people. It simply means they're not aligned with where you're going. As you grow, your energy changes, your mindset changes, your vision changes, and your standards change. And when your standards rise, certain relationships will naturally fall away. You can't hold on to everyone and expect to elevate. You can't cling to people who are comfortable staying exactly where they are because they will hold you in place too. And many times, the people who resist your growth, the most are the ones who benefit from you staying the same. It takes courage to separate yourself from circles that no longer support your growth. It takes strength to